With unlimited access to information at our fingertips at any given moment, it can be hard to keep up. Sometimes the constant noise of social media and the 24-hour news cycle can even seem inescapable. The good news, which we could all use right about now, is that some things are worth knowing a lot more than others. Number 10. Russia has more surface area than Pluto. Everyone's heard a thing or two about Putin and the USSR, but few people have heard anecdotes about real life in Russia and the former Soviet Union. Russia is the largest country on Earth. It has a surface area that's greater than Pluto, which is why it was reclassified as a dwarf planet in 2006. Russia's surface area is approximately 6.6 million square miles, 17 million square kilometers, while Pluto's surface area is 6.4 million square miles, 16.7 million square kilometers. The country has a population of approximately 142 million people. Nearly 3/4 of Russians live in cities, leaving the vast amount of the country's significant surface area hardly populated due to its harsh cold climates and being mostly covered with trees. Russia contains 1/5 of the world's total forests. It's also home to the deepest lake in the world, Lake Baikal, with a depth of 5,387 feet, 1,641.96 meters, which contains 1/5 of the world's supply of fresh water. All of Russia's combined pipelines, such as for gas and oil and water, would theoretically be able to circle the Earth 6 times. And there are 9 different time zones that stretch across 2 continents in Russia, the most of any country in the world. Number 9. High heels were originally men's shoes. Do you know that high heels were originally made exclusively for men? Can you believe it? Nowadays, stilettos and heels are broadly associated with female style and female sexuality. However, men used to wear high heels long before women started wearing them. High-heeled shoes were first worn by Persian soldiers in the 10th century to elevate their feet, giving them stability while shooting their bows and arrows. Since then, men's heels symbolize high social stature, military power, and fashionable taste. Then the Persian riders also wore 1-inch heel shoes to signify it as a symbol of wealth and power. Persian soldiers and migrants brought the shoe trend to Europe, which was considered fashionable. Later, the European aristocrats adopted the new trend as a powerful military tactic to appear taller. Heels came back in the mid-19th century, where men wear low-heeled cowboy boots and platform shoes. Moreover, the era of men wearing high heels is long gone. Men on heels symbolize power, wealth, and masculinity, but it was pushed to the gender biases in today's world. Number 8. Antarctica is the world's largest desert. In terms of sheer size, the Antarctic Desert is the largest desert on Earth, measuring 13.8 million square kilometers. Antarctica is the coldest, windiest, and most isolated continent on Earth, and is considered a desert primarily because its annual precipitation can be less than 51 millimeters in the interior. It's covered by a permanent ice sheet that contains 90% of the Earth's fresh water. Only 2% of the continent is not covered by ice, and this land is strictly along the coasts, where all the life associated with the landmass, for example penguins, seals, and various species of birds, reside. The other 98% of Antarctica is covered by ice, which averages 1.6 kilometers in thickness. There are no permanent human residents, but anywhere from 1,000 to 5,000 researchers inhabit the research stations scattered across the continent, the largest being McMurdo Station, located on the tip of Ross Island. Beyond a limited range of mammals, only certain cold-adapted species of mites, algae, and tundra vegetation can survive there. Despite having very little precipitation, Antarctica still experiences massive windstorms. Much like sandstorms in the desert, the high winds pick up snow and turn into blizzards. These storms can reach speeds of up to 320 kilometers an hour, 200 miles per hour, and are one reason the continent is so cold. Number 7. Your nose and ears never stop growing. While the rest of our body shrinks as we get older, our noses, earlobes, and ear muscles keep getting bigger. At some point in your life, someone has probably shared with you a little nugget of wisdom about how our nose and our ears never stop growing. You might then look around and see a bunch of senior citizens and notice that their facial appendages appear slightly larger than their younger counterparts, and believe this fact to be true. But is it? The truth is that, yes, as we age, our nose and ears do get bigger, but not because we are growing. The real reason is a common scientific force known as gravity. You see, our nose and our ears are made of cartilage, and while many people mistakenly believe that cartilage never stops growing, the fact is cartilage does stop growing. However, cartilage is made of collagen and other fibers that begin to break down as we age. The result is drooping. So what appears to be growth is just gravity doing its job. Our noses and our earlobes sag and become larger. Adding to the misconception is what happens to other parts of our face. While our nose might sag, our cheeks and lips lose volume, making everything else look comparatively larger. Unfortunately, aging and gravity are both unavoidable. Our only defense against this natural occurrence is finding the fountain of youth or moving to the moon. Number 6. All astronauts going to the International Space Station have to learn how to speak Russian. Nowadays, most humans leaving Earth must do so through Russian territory. Space flyers ride on a Russian Soyuz spacecraft, which lifts off from a special parcel of Russian territory in Kazakhstan. Their spacecraft mission is commanded by a Russian citizen, and a large chunk of their destination, the International Space Station, has modules and operations in Russian. This means that all astronauts going to the ISS, no matter how many languages they speak, also need to learn Russian. And astronauts and cosmonauts all over the world need to learn at least some English to work with NASA. English is a challenging language for foreigners to learn. Number 5. 40 million years ago, penguins were 6 feet tall. A penguin that waddled across the ice 60 million years ago would have dwarfed the king and emperor penguins of today. As indicated by fossils recently uncovered in New Zealand, the extinct species measured 5 feet 10 inches while swimming, surpassing an average adult man's height. The discovery, which the authors say is a complete skeleton of a penguin this size to date, is laid out in a study recently published in Nature Communications. While standing on land, the penguin would have measured 5 foot 3 inches, still a foot taller than today's largest penguins at their maximum height. Researchers estimated its weight to have been around 223 pounds. Number 4. 2 stealth nuclear submarines once bumped into each other by accident. The nuclear ballistic missile submarines Triumphant from France and HMS Vanguard of the British Royal Navy collided deep under the middle of the Atlantic Ocean in the middle of the night between February 3rd and February 4th, despite both vessels being equipped with sonar. The collision caused damage to both vessels, but a Ministry of Defense (MOD) official confirmed it did not release any radioactive material. Both vessels returned damaged but otherwise safe to their home ports, with the 250 crew members aboard uninjured with no compromise to nuclear safety. The Defense Ministry said in terse statements that appeared to have been agreed upon by the nations. The reference appeared to cover the nuclear reactors that power the submarines and the 16 ballistic missiles carrying nuclear warheads that the British and French vessels each routinely carry on patrols. The collision of the vessels on the night of February 3rd, at a location neither nation disclosed, was described by military experts in London and Paris as a 1 in a million occurrence, given the expanse of the oceans and the low number of submarines carrying ballistic missiles on patrol at any time. The nations with such vessels are the United States, Russia, China, Britain, and France. Number 3. For their first month of living, babies only see black and white. Newborns can only focus 8 to 12 inches from their face, and they see only black, white, and gray. As early as the first week, your baby begins to respond to movement and begins to focus on your face. Soon your baby will smile when you come close. This is an important sign that your baby sees and recognizes you, a joyful moment for any parent. Over the next 10 to 12 weeks, you'll notice your baby following moving objects and recognizing things, especially toys and mobiles with bold, geometric patterns. As their color vision begins to develop, babies will see red first. They'll see the first full spectrum of colors by the time they reach 5 months of age. By 6 months, your baby's brain has made significant growth in the vision centers. Her vision may already be 20/20. Your baby sees more clearly, quickly, and accurately. Their ability to perceive colors should be similar to your own now, and their hand-eye coordination is also improving. Number 2. In Japan, letting a sumo wrestler make your baby cry is considered good luck. For over 400 years, The sound of a baby's cry has been the unlikely sound of victory at this unusual festival in Japan. The Japanese tradition at the Nakazoma festival is believed to bring good health to the infants, and the one who bawls first is the winner. More than 100 babies squared off in a ring today in an annual competition where hulking sumo wrestlers hold them and do their best to try to make them burst into tears. The louder the babies cry, the more the ritual helps to protect the young child and help them in the future with their good fortune. However, if the youngsters fail to cry within a few seconds, the referee, dressed in a gorgeous robe, intervenes. The referee has to attempt to scare the young baby by wearing traditional scary masks or making faces and loud noises to get it to cry. Dozens of babies competed at Tokyo's Sensoi Temple in the historic Akazuko district, one of Tokyo's most popular historical tourist spots. Number 1. The most shoplifted food item in the world is cheese. If one were to try to guess the most shoplifted food item, cheese would probably not top the list. However, according to a 2011 British Center for Retail Research report, cheese is the most shoplifted food item in the world. About 4% of the world's cheese is stolen. The reasons why are reasonably clear, including high demand, easy disposal by thieves, and small mobile formats that make it easy to conceal and is kept in a refrigerator, which doesn't usually get as much monitoring as an aisleway. Thanks for watching. Leave the comment down below and let us know what's the craziest fact on this list. Don't forget to subscribe for new and upcoming episodes.